shoot. Hold on a second. Did I do it the right way?
Oh, we are. Here we go.
You
I
see
didn't even
it?
see me there.
All right. Now let me show you the comments is not on there. I think I did. Should be. What up? We have our first comment. Hey Ruth, thank you so much for joining us. Are you seeing the comments, Carl?
No. First
Still
on.
not? Well, you need to see the comments. Can you see my comments? Yes, Ruth, I can see your comments. You should be live on screen. Can you see your comments? Let me know if you can see your comments. Hi, my love. So today, our conversation, well, first of all, hi, everybody. Welcome. Wait, Carl, go on live.
Yeah, I'm on live on IG right now.
You're on IG?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't even tell me.
I literally just did it when you said go on live. Oh, I see it. I see the comments. That's trying to tell.
You see it? Awesome.
Yeah. It's a little delayed. And I'm live.
And Carl. Yes. You're live? I don't see the live. Hold on a second.
Just join whenever you're ready.
I'm on the live. Awesome. Alright, we got people joining already. That's what's up.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Yes, I can see my comments, just making sure enough could too. I requested you, Carl. How do you go through? There we go.
Okay.
So, Carl, if you can man the Instagram comments while I man the Facebook and the
Let's do it.
YouTube comments. Awesome. So, thank you everyone for joining us for another episode of Money Monday. How's everybody doing on this rainy Monday? Hope everyone is all right. Hi, Carl. How you doing?
Amazing. It's amazing as usual, you know. What about yourself?
I'm doing great. Thank you. So today's topic of conversation is going to be how to prepare to purchase a home. This topic of conversation was actually recommended to us by a friend of mine named Ashley Payne, who's actually a young 25-year-old mama looking to purchase her first home. So yay!
Thank you, Ashley. Thank you.
So we actually did touch on this briefly in the last live where we said that the key points to purchase a home are going to be credit, assets, and debt. So Carl and I disagree on the credit. I think credit is important because although necessarily your credit doesn't mean that you're going to get a lower or higher pre-approval, it does have a very important impact on your interest rate. So if you want to have a low interest rate, meaning that the rate that you pay back your loan is not going to be something crazy like 5%, then you want to make sure that your credit is high. I would say in the 700s or higher. What would you say, Carl?
I say get it where you fit in, right? If you have a 580, we do loans as low as 580. So as long as you have a 580 or higher, we can pre-qualify for a loan. Keep in mind because you have a lower credit score because you do only have a 580 opposed to like the 740, 750. Yes, your interest rate will be higher, but the ultimate goal is to get you into the house. So, yeah. I say get in where you fit in. If you have a 580, you're great. You have a 700 or better, you're phenomenal.
I agree with you there to an extent. I feel like the better your credit, the better your life, because credit is so much more important than just, buying a home or buying a car. Everything. You can literally buy a home with a credit card if you had good credit. And I don't think enough people know. So, I don't know. I'm with you, but I'm not with you at the same time. So, our next topic is going to be assets. So, assets, obviously, how much are you making? Do you have a stable income? Do you have a stable job? That's really what the lender wants to know. Like, also, how much are you making versus how much is your debt? That's a very important one, because you could be making 100,000 on paper, but 90,000 you're in debt, and you're only making 10,000. Can you really afford to purchase a home? So for assets, I also did cover this in the last live. 20%, I would say to anyone looking to purchase a home, save as much as 20% down. You don't have to put the whole 20% down. You can put 3, 5 down. But I would say to save at least 20% so that you'll be able to cover all of your expenses, whether it be appraisals, whether it be inspections, moving costs, closing costs, things of that nature. So for example, 30% of a home listed at 300,000 is 60,000. So if you can save as much of that 60,000 as possible, you're Gucci. What do you think? What do you have to add on that?
Ideally, yes, you're absolutely right. Ideally, we want everybody to save at least 20%. That's the perfect situation for everybody. Hopefully, you're able to save 20%. If you're not, there is definitely first-time homebuyer programs out there for everyone involved. I just want to add, because somebody just asked me one major thing: the difference between a loan officer and a realtor. We didn't get a chance to really touch up on that last episode. I think I just dove right in. Did you want to explain that, or? Sorry about that. I hate to take you off track.
Well, a realtor is just that, someone who is going to assist you in the transaction of purchasing your home or purchasing a commercial property, something like that. A loan officer is actually the person who's going to issue you your loan, your pre-approval. Anything else you wanted to add on top of that? Maybe explain.
Yeah. No, loan officer finds you the money, realtor finds you the house. That's it.
So you are going to need a realtor. You are going to need a loan officer. You are going to need a title and insurance company.
Yeah, absolutely. Title insurance. Great point. Do you find when you come across like a new home buyer, what do they usually come with like a lender or type of insurance, or do they pretty much from scratch? They don't have anything
So
at all.
With the clients that I have been working with, a lot of them are coming to me green to the entire process. So they know that they need a realtor, but that's as far as it is. So yeah, I normally recommend at least 3 different lenders to my clients, and then I also have a list of recommendations that my office uses for title insurance.
Okay, that works. Yeah. What else you got? Do you think? Sorry. With title, actually, never mind. I'll hold that one for another one.
Go ahead.
No. Forget it. It didn't really pertain to what's going on right now. Anyway, it was like I'll ask you another time. No worries.
Is it a question from viewers?
No, it's not.
Okay. So another thing that's important when determining or when preparing to purchase a home would be your debt to income ratio. What would you say? What happened to the Instagram?
I don't know. I just restarted it. I don't know what happened. I was just looking at it myself.
Technical difficulties. Let me know when I can.
I'll tell you about it again.
Got it.
There you go. All right. Cool.
So,
there you go.
One thing definitely I think is
Go ahead.
One thing I think is important for people, especially on this live, to take away is that debt to income ratio is a killer when it comes to your pre-approval. Carl, what is the standard? Where should your debt to income be? Should it be at 30%? Should it be less? Should it be more?
Definitely. Debt to income should always be less than 50%. At least 50%, but no more than 50%. So if you make $3,000, you want your expenses not to exceed $1,500 a month. And when I say expenses, I'm talking about car note, car insurance, you may pay rent, any credit card, student loans. Student loans are a little bit different. but you want to make sure that all your monthly bills that you have are less than half of what you make. That's always a great rule of thumb.
And you said student loans are different. Why are student loans are different?
Well, student loans are factor different. So if your monthly payment for a student loan is $250, it's not counted $250. It's 1% of what you pay, because you may have multiple student loans. So 1% of whatever that lump sum is will be counted towards your debt to income. Sorry.
Oh.
Sorry to everybody tuning in. I'm Carl, mortgage broker, as you already know, or Mr. Pre-Qualified on Instagram. And we have Alexis, oh my lord, Realtor extraordinaire. We're just going over things that you need to qualify for first-time home buyers. Go ahead. Sorry, people are popping in, just want to catch them up.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining the lives. We will open up the live at the last 10 minutes for any questions. So save all your questions for the end, and we'll let you know when you can go ahead and shoot us those questions. So we're talking about debt to income ratio, and Carl was just explaining that your debt to income ratio for your car and your other bills should be 50% of your monthly income, or is that yearly?
50%. Your debt to income should be 50% of your monthly income.
Monthly income. Okay.
Yeah.
And so, can you give us some tips on how we can keep our debt to income ratio low?
Yeah, absolutely. Use cash. Use cash for everything. No, you definitely want to put yourself on a budget, right? And monitor what you spend, where your money's going, where your money's going to, and where it's saving you. You always want to assign your money to some place, because if it's just sitting there, you're going to spend it on any and everything. So you want to put yourself on a budget, depending on what your goal is. If you want to buy a $300,000 house, you got to budget yourself like you're already living in that $300,000 house. That way, when it comes time to go to the closing table, when it comes time to sign all the final documents, you're good to go. When it comes time to get pre-qualified, you're good to go. You have the bank statements, you have all the funds. What other things? You definitely want to shop around, know your market. My thing is always hire professional to do the job. You can't go wrong when you hire professionals. In this particular case, if you're looking for a house and you're trying to find a house, you want to hire a realtor like Alexis, so she'll be able to go out and find a property for you. But finding a professional to do the job is always key. That's all I got. Other than that, it's a budget. People don't budget these days, so that's the hard thing.
And we are going to have a later episode discussing some of the most common money mistakes that us as an African community as a whole make, and then we need to stop and get away from that. Okay, so we do have a comment coming over from Instagram. Too sexy for this fat. Ask us, what should the debt to income ratio be? Your debt to income ratio should be 50% of your monthly income. So if your monthly income is about $1,500, your debt to income ratio should be $700.
$750. But yeah. Hopefully it's not $1,500. Hopefully it's a little bit higher than that. We want you to be at least. That's another thing. Sorry, I know we didn't cover it, but your salary. Actually, we'll get into it. Your salary determines how much you can actually afford. So you always want to be about 50% of your debt income.
Okay, so you said something key there. Your salary determines how much you can afford. Elaborate on that for us.
So if you make, and this is a rule of thumb, right? If you make, we'll say, I like easy numbers. If you make $50,000 a year, you'll qualify for. You may qualify for roughly about $250 to $270, because you make $50,000. Rule of thumb is you normally qualify for like 5 times your salary. So 50,000, 5 times that is 250,000. It could be 250 to 270 in that range. Now, what changes it is your amount of your DTI, right? So if it's at 50%, then that's basically saying you could probably afford it. If it's above 50%, you're exceeding your DTI, so you won't be able to afford you won't be able to afford the house. That's how they factor it.
Okay, well, I learned something new there. I didn't know that you could afford 5 times your yearly income. That's awesome.
It's 5 times your monthly income.
Okay, so our 3 main points to kind of sum it up here were credit, although we disagree on the credit thing. Credit more so for the interest rates. If you want a lower interest rate, you need a higher credit score. If you have a lower credit score, your interest rate obviously is going to be a little bit higher. Assets. Oh, and that's one thing too. When you're calculating assets, any little thing can count against you or it can count for you. For example, child support payments. Those are included in assets, so that is going to be factored into your pre-approval amount. Things like child support payments, if you have other properties in your name, maybe that you signed. Go ahead.
Sorry, child support payments. Child support payments are actually factored, if I'm not mistaken, it's 110% of what the child support payment is, right? So if your child support payment is $500, it'll be $550, right? And that $550 would be added to your monthly income. So if you make $1,000, now you make $1,550, and out of $1,550, I think that works out to be, we'll say, out of $1,550, whatever $1,550 is, I don't have my calculator with me. I'm actually using my phone, but whatever it is, it boosts your annual income up by $7,000. So if you normally make $30,000 a year, now you make $37,000 a year, and you would qualify off of $37,000. Opposed to being off of qualifying.
Why is it that child support payments are calculated as 110%?
So 2 things. You know what? That's a really good question. I don't know why child support payments are calculated at the 110% mark, but child support payments are calculated as long as it can be proved to last for the next 3 years, and that you've been making payments for the last 2 years. You've been receiving payments for the last 2 years. But I don't know why they chose the 110% question. I mean, I don't know why they chose the 100%.
I'm sorry, you're lagging a little bit. Can you repeat that?
Yeah. So to make it even, right? If you get $500 in child support would be added onto your income. So say you make $30,000. We'll say, just to make it easier, say you make $33,000 a year, right? Child support payments at $500 will be added onto your income. That could be grossed up to $550. Basically saying, because it can be grossed up to $550, instead of you qualifying for a loan at $33,000, as long as you can show proof of child support coming in for the last 2 years and to continue for the next 3 years. So as long as your child isn't 14, right? As long as your child isn't 14, then, and you can still prove that you're going to receive child support, then that income that you receive for child support could be added onto your regular income, and now you would qualify for a loan at $40,000 opposed to qualifying for a loan at $33,000. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense. I'm getting a little bit of comments about the sound. We're so sorry if the sound sounds low. If you hear a little bit of echo, we apologize. Just bear with us. That's something that we will work on and fix going forward for the next episode. I did want to ask, so for investors, normally investors are told that they need to put 20% down for their down payment if they're getting a loan on a residential income property. What is the stigma about that? Is that true? Do they need to put the 20% down?
They should talk to their lender. Conventionally, yes. You need to put 20% down for a investment property, but I would definitely speak to my lender about that.
Okay, and so for someone who wants to do an investment property, being as though they need to put the 20% down, how much of a rule of thumb would you give them for their debt to income and for how much they would need to save up?
Well, the savings depends on the property, because they may want a condo for $80,000, and at $80,000 with 20%, what's that? $16,000, right? And then 4% in closing costs, so we're talking another 12. So that would be about 28,000 that they would need for an $80,000 condo. maybe a little bit more. Condos are a little funny because sometimes they ask for like an additional 10% reserves, but the amount of money is indicative on the amount of house you want. So what I usually tell people is, if you're a first time home buyer and you want to buy a house, save at least close to 20%. Well, save at least 10%. If you're a first time home buyer, you can get in with 10% of whatever the house costs. That's the rule, like hands down. If your house is $300,000, you can get a house for $30,000 if you're a first time home buyer. But for investors, yes, if you're an investor, like with anything, if you're an investor, the guideline is 20% down for your investment property. If you know a lender, definitely speak to a lender about it.
So we covered assets, we covered credit, and we covered your debt. Your debt to income ratio again should be 50% minimum payment. I was going to suggest apps like Acorn, stuff like that, and Acorn, and there's Lending Tree. There's a few apps out here that you can put your money aside in. But Carl seems to disagree with me on there. Can you give your 2 cents on that?
You know why?
Yeah.
Okay. The thing about apps like Robinhood and what's the other one? Stash. Like, I'm a fan of them. Don't get me wrong. Acorn, I'm a fan of them. But you kind of want to put your money in vehicles that, we're a set and forget it society, really. Like, those type of things. If you really want to make money in those things, it's gonna take research and work, right? But if you are traditional, just put your money aside. Put it in your 401k. Put it in your 401k. If you don't have a 401k, start a Roth IRA. Put it in a Roth IRA. It's just easier for you.
Or stuff it underneath your mattress.
Yo, it works. Envelope system, it all works. But definitely, if you have a 401k, just match what your employer is doing. They do 3, you do 3. That's 6% every year. Within 3 years, you should be able to pull like $30,000 out and buy a house.
All right. So that was all that we had planned. We're going to sit here now and open it up for questions. So if you guys have anything that you'd like to ask us pertaining to today's topic or another topic that we can maybe cover for you in the future or answer today, let us know.
Yeah. Anybody got any questions?
Let me scroll back down here.
Yeah, I'm looking through the comments right now. So, Alexis, you were talking about the person that was interested in an investment property. Tell me more about it. What were they trying to do?
Okay, so
investment,
they wanted to open an Airbnb on the beach in Miami Beach. I actually found an awesome property for them, listed at $189, I believe, $189.9 on the beach, 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom, and that was. What is your question, Mrs. Brisbane 1920? I'm so glad that you learned some things, Miss Cassie. You guys, for the next live, if you can definitely join us either on YouTube or Facebook. The links are always going to be on my Instagram bio. That way I can feature your comment here on screen, just like this one here. So, yeah, I would love for you guys to be a part of the conversation like in that way.
But yeah, you were saying condo on the beach, $189.
Yes.
Okay. Do they accept FHA? Do you know?
The loan that we were working with was a conventional loan, so I'm not sure on if they.
Yeah, okay. Did the conventional it was requiring 20%, 10%?
Okay, so here's the thing. I don't think that they told their lender that they were doing this as an investment property because their down payment was listed at 3%. And I'm like, wait, for an investment property, I know it has to be 20%.
Right. So what happened in that situation? 3%. So they have pretty good credit. They have really good credit, 3%. That's why they were offered that on conventional. Because the condo may come back and say you have to at least put 10% down.
We didn't get that far because of the coronavirus.
Gotcha. Okay. So a few things. So just in that particular situation, right? They they definitely they definitely didn't tell the. Do they own a house already? Sorry.
Yes, they own. They're
Okay.
actually an investor in multiple states. They have multiple investment properties, and they also have properties for themselves as well.
Cool beans. Yeah. So then, yeah, them getting a property at 3% would work for them as long as no one knew it was another, like it was their second property, right? As long as they didn't tell the lender it was a second property, um, or whatever they worked out with their lender. That's why they're getting at 3%. Not saying that it can't be done, but on the back end, like if it's found out, then there could be repercussions to that. But no, that's sweet. 3% on 189.
Yeah.
That's
On
nothing.
Miami Beach, on top of that, to then flip it and do an Airbnb, that's an amazing investment.
It would have been
Yeah.
if it wasn't for COVID.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for
definitely no, but that's sweet. Sorry, what you say?
I was telling everyone thank you for joining us. We have some new.
Oh yeah.
We
Shout out to
still
everybody,
have a
but don't
comment.
want to research that.
It says, don't the lender research that? Yes, the lender is supposed to research that.
We're supposed to research if they have another loan or other properties. We don't. There's not really. We can't really. We don't really research if they have a loan or other properties. I mean, yeah. What? So to be honest, it could happen. It could happen. I mean, there's a lot of factors that come into play, right? I'm just thinking like multiple situations where people will buy houses in 2 different counties and it reports at 2 different times. And yeah, we wouldn't research it. I'm not gonna lie to you. We wouldn't research if they have other properties. We'll pull credit. Well, if it's on the credit, fine. But if it's not on the credit, then it's not on the credit. Like, there's nothing we could do about that. You know what I'm saying? So what we end up doing is we go off your credit report. If there are no other properties on the credit report, then we won't do anything about it. But as long as you can afford it, yeah, why not? I'll go all in.
All right. Do you have any more questions? I know someone said that they had a question, but I didn't see them write it down in the comments.
She did. We answered it. It was sexy.
Good to know.
What was it? No. Her name was what was her name?
It was Mrs.
Too Sexy for
1920 who had a question. She said, Mrs. 1920. She said I have a question, but she didn't write her question.
Oh, we have another question. Yeah, she said she asked it. Miss Brisbane.
Oh, she did. It's in the comments.
She said it's in the comments.
Oh,
I'll look for it. But
we also
you want me to answer this?
While you're looking, I'll read that other comment. It says, "Can the lender cancel your loan if they found out you have multiple properties?" Very good question. Thank you.
If they find out and it changes your debt to income ratio, yes, they will cancel it. They will kick it out. So what will end up happening is, prime example, like somebody will come in and say they want to be a first-time home buyer. No, good and damn well they have a house right now that they bought last year, right? So we'll go into it, and once we find out that you purchased a house, you won't qualify for a first-time home buyer, right? So now you have to go like 20%, opposed to the 3.5% down. So that's usually what happens.
We have another question. Too Sexy for This Fat says, regarding investment properties, can you use first-time home buyers for it?
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yes. There's a few stipulations though. The second property is supposed to be at least 100 miles from your first property, at least. And after you purchase, so those are the 2 major stipulations. As if you purchase a property within the last 3 years, you won't qualify for a first-time home buyer. So it has to be after 3 years, and also it has to be it's 100 miles away from your current property. If it's not 100 miles away from the current property, it has to be at least bigger than the current property. Meaning that if you live in a 2-2, you're moving to a 3-2, or if you live in a 3-2, you're moving to a 4-6, or different stipulations. It's kind of tweaked, but as long as the property is bigger than your current property, you can still use the first-time home buyers to move into the next property.
Thank you for that explanation. But I think her question is asking, can you buy an investment property as a first-time home buyer? And for that, I would say yes. Can you use the first-time home buyer loans, like the government grants, to buy an investment property? No. But it could be my primary. Can your investment property be your primary property? Is that what you're asking?
Would I have to live there? So, okay, I see what you're saying.
Okay. So if you purchase a property and it's not homesteaded, you don't have to live there. But if you homestead a property, you're basically saying that this property is my primary residence. You have to stay there. If you rent out a property that has been homesteaded, then they will take off that homestead exemption, and I believe you have to pay fines for that as well, but I'm not sure. We have another question. It says, if I have a debt owed, can it be added to my closing?
If you have debt owed, can be when in a refi. In a refi, you can do that. I haven't seen that on a purchase, but on a refi, let's say you want to refinance. Actually, no, I'm gonna say no to that, but I know it kind of depends. But definitely on a refi, what ends up happening say you bought a house last year and you want to refi this year because the interest rates are lower, but for some reason or another you have high credit card causing your debt to income to be at 55%. In a refi, what they would do is they would pay down your outstanding credit cards, bringing your debt to income below the 50%, and then cashing you out or adjusting your interest rate. So that would work on a refi. That was for Mel, answering Mel's question.
For homesteaded is basically an exemption that the government gives you for your primary residence. So if you have a residence that's homesteaded, you're telling the government that you live in this residence full time, 12 months out of the year, and for that they give you a little bit of a tax break. You can also have two properties be homesteaded if you are someone who lives in two places.
Dual residence?
Yes, dual residences. If you live 6 months out of the year in one place and 6 months out of the year in one place, you can have two homesteaded properties. Do we have any more questions?
Anybody? Any more questions?
If we don't have any more questions, we are going to go ahead and end the live here. We thank you guys so much for joining us. Next week, we will be back with another Money Monday. The topic for next week's Monday is going to be all about credit. We will be having two credit repair specialists on next week by the names of Ruth Clinton and...
Oh, that's on me. Yes, Diane Absoly. She's gonna be mad at me if I messed up her last name, but she'll be on here next week also to talk about credit. So we'll have two people on talking about credit. That should be pretty. Yo, come with all your questions, guys.
Yes,
like,
come
make sure y'all bring it. Come with the real questions.
It's going to be. Credit is super important, like I mentioned before. Like, you can have all the cash you want, but you have to play the people's game, and the people's game is the credit. If you don't have credit, you're not going to get anywhere. So, credit is everything. Make sure that you know exactly how you should be utilizing your credit to make your credit make money for you.
Definitely. Always leverage your credit.
Say that again?
Always leverage your credit.
Oh, leverage, yes. I was watching a live the other day that was saying how a man was able to leverage his credit to purchase an ATM machine, and he now makes about, I want to say $9,000 or more a month from that ATM machine, and he spent $3,000 of credit card money. So next week is going to be a bomb episode. Come with all your questions, do a little bit of research, and then I believe the week after that we're gonna have the Florida insurance guy on. Can you remind me of his name? He actually just joined the live.
Speaking of that, that's crazy. Yeah. So what's that? The week after next?
2 weeks from today.
2 weeks from today, Florida insurance guy will be on. Yeah, he was asking about that this morning, actually. And so let me apologize because I am all over the place. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I just had to put that out there. Go ahead.
Well, guys, that is all we have for today. Again, thank you guys so much. Hey, Hippie Fit, you joined us at the end of the live, so you're going to have to go ahead and watch the recording. You guys can find the recording of this live on YouTube. It's going to be Alexis, the South Florida Oasis. Actually, let me go ahead and type this. I'm going to just take this and type here what it is. Alexis's.
Any last minute questions before we go? Eyes, Lamb, Hippie Fit, Mel, anybody? Ali, I see you. Appreciate you guys. I'm doing all my shout outs right now. I got in trouble last time for doing shout outs. Doing all my shout outs right now.
Yes, he did get in trouble for shout outs. So now is the time. Hi and bye, Hippie. We'll see you next week.
Grand opening, grand closing. Appreciate you.
We're here on Mondays at 6 p.m. Here is the link, the name of my YouTube channel. You'll be able to watch. I'll type it in the chat for the Instagram. Alexis's South Florida Oasis. So you can go ahead and watch the replay of the live. That's all we have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for joining. Stay safe, and we'll see you guys on Monday.
Before you go, Alexis, just tell them how they can find you besides what you just put in.
Okay, so you can find me there at Alexis South Florida Oasis on YouTube. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Oh My Lord. Let me type it. OHMI_LORD. And Carl, for those people on YouTube and Facebook, I am going to write this on the screen.
Cool. I'll do that next time. That's a good idea.
Hold on 1 second.
I still haven't figured out how to do the pins. Mel has a question. I'm just going to answer it real quick. One more question. If I have a collection account, can I still close with debt, or does it need to be paid? It depends on how that collection account affects your debt to income ratio. It depends on how it affects your debt to income ratio. If your debt to income is at 50% and you still have a collection account on there, don't worry about it. But if it is affecting you, go ahead and remove it.
I say for collections, never pay collections.
Right.
Come back next week so we can answer that question more in depth. But I say never pay collections. You can go ahead and dispute them, and you send letters, and they'll fall right off.
There you go. You guys heard it here.
All right, guys. Thank you again so much, and we'll see you guys on Monday. Bye.
Okay. Thanks for signing in. Later.